Great afternoon, folks. Welcome to another installation of KingCast Law and Humanity. So today we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about my request and my own personal move going forward to eliminate the profanity and the pot shots on the post, because I'll get to why in a minute. But I just want to say that it's certainly not unlawful, but it skews the signal to noise ratio, and it offends more people, so it shouldn't be given nor received. This is the case. It's got like 3 months left, and it's only going to get more intense. So y'all do what you want to do, but just for me, that's where I'm at. And thankfully, some people have recognized that this is a good way to go. Deb Morris has done that. And so we disagree about a lot of things, and we agree about some other things too. But the point is that, and Janina Warren stepped in too to say that she's going to take the pledge. I think other people may do as well. But again, it's not illegal to do those things. But, for example, my friend, rest in peace, Christopher Fairman, was a professor at Moritz School of Law. And he wrote me one day years ago because he loved my blogs. And he says, yeah, you spice it up. It's good. And he said, have you seen my thesis paper? And I said, no, I haven't. So then he shared it. You guys should take a look at it. It's pretty intense. So there's that. But again, yes, there have been unalive threats made, I think, to both ways. I know Drew Anthony received some, and I've heard that Jeff Metcalf received some too. That's insane, guys. You can't do that. And I think whoever issued a death threat to somebody, full stop. I mean, that's the extreme of it. That's a whole different thing. So, like I say, you really can't. I just think it like I say, it weakens the signal to noise ratio when you respond or give out the profanity. So that's just me going forward. So let's move on. I think we're ready to move on now to some aspects of my case, which I will do. Let's see here. All right. First off, they come on with the demonization always. Okay. So this is their motion to dismiss, or a certain page of it, of course, in which they try to say that the things at American Tower didn't happen as I alleged, okay, but they did, all right? And then at the bottom, along with my litigation against American Tower for calling me a dangerous black man, which was not true at all, okay, I claim on media that the DOL awarded him $209,000. That was a typo, but I told the court that he got a settlement of $290,000. I never said that, okay? I obtained it for my staff, so don't twist it, all right? So as a matter of fact, let's go right here to show where they were wrong, okay? I think I addressed this coming up here. Where's the American Tower section? Oh, on the way there, I will point out that everything I said about Baby Boy's page is true, because he just got a live guy taken down for being in an unsafe environment. Yeah, so that's a fact, okay? And they target people. They target people. I know I'm being targeted. Absolutely. That's where Sarah's ramping up her army. Yeah. Yeah, it's really intense. So let's get to American Tower here. Okay, here we go. All right. I filed kind of a motion in limine about it, which means that for some reason it shouldn't be admitted. But I don't mind it being admitted, because I mentioned this thing myself, because it goes to show what I'm about, which is helping people regardless of race. My trainees were all, like 95% of them were white. There's like one person, maybe two people who were not of color in that group. So what really happened was that the case settled. Now, here's what happens. He tried to say I'm lying about it and that it was dismissed and that was that. But all you have to do to go to Pacer is, if you run my name on Massachusetts Pacer, there's only two of me with no middle initial, plaintiff both times, okay? I refiled it because it was getting hot and heavy in there. And then American Tower went out, and they got Richard Van Nostrand, who was the president of the Massachusetts Bar at the time, to fight me. So I said, wait a minute, let's move up on that. And I got Scott Lathrop to represent us. It was Anna Siernovich and me. I'll tell you who she is in a second. And there's video about all of this. Somebody made a video about this whole event. I asked for better working conditions for my staff, and they didn't like it. And I knew about the FISLA violation. So this is Joanne Treschel, and she's an attorney. Okay. Well, I don't know if she was licensed, but we both got JDs. Okay. And she was my boss. And she said that, these people at the top of the company, they hate you because you're aware of the FISLA violations. Okay. And we talked about starting a consulting company on employment stuff, right? Yeah, absolutely. And so this is attorney, she's also a JD, Sierranovich, a white female. She said that they're both lying. My voice was never loud, and I didn't do anything unprofessional. Okay, so those are the facts. And then the last fact is that there it is. I don't know how he couldn't find it, but it says, I drafted this complaint on behalf of my trainees. It can't be any more clear than that. So he's trying to, the defendants are trying to skew everything they can. There's the case number, 04991, Boston. Okay. John Chavez, I think that's who I worked with on it. Yeah. So those are the facts. What else is going on here? Oh, he alleged that I never said what the defamatory statement was. The cause of action for defamation does not identify what specifically he alleging was defamatory. Okay, that's what Grisham and Fields claim. But wait a minute. Let's go to the complaint, paragraph 56. That they had fired defendant because he is a dangerous black man who had issued violent threats. None of that was true. You cannot continue to criminalize us, and as Cornel West said, inize us when we're not. And with that, I'm going to turn to Sarah's buddy, Mark Anthony Jokerst, and why he's relevant to this case, as I explained to the court. It was Jokerst who came back from a court hearing one day in late December, I believe it was, and he stated that Judge Roach has resigned, he's gone, he's off the bench. So then, who fabricates a story that there was this, I can't remember the word, it was energetic or intense or something like that nature, okay? And extreme, what was the phrase? It was extremely targeted harassment, okay? And in their brief, which I'm not going to get into now, but I can show it to you, they say that it was some harassment. Okay, there's a difference between one of those two is kind of annoying, but the other one is criminal, and it's a crime of moral turpitude. So in defamation, that presumes damages. Okay, then you have to quantify them, and they're saying I can't meet the threshold. And I'm like, wait a minute, defamation verdicts could routinely be $75,000, but I also had a physical manifestation, as I hinted to already, and I told the court that I would inform them of that later. I got shingles because of the type of things that Sarah does to people. And what do I mean by that? I showed you the Army stuff before, right? But let's go down here. No, that's not the right document. Let's go down here to Logan Cassette, who explains it, okay? And she says right here, she describes what Sarah does, going after people like this with materially wrong facts, and just, it's really, really, it didn't stop there. She continued posting without investigations and additional photos that she claimed were Monica, but it's the wrong person. So didn't you have the right person identified there, okay? Now, let's go now to the issue here. Mark Anthony Jokerst, I've presented his file to you before. The beatings, the redacted police file, where I think the victim went in and asked that they redact it. The report indicated beaten with hands, feet, and fists. Okay? Well, this is another one. This was a plea agreement. Okay? And I won't get the victim's name right now. It's not on here. I don't see it. And yeah, it says retaliation here, but you can see, make sure her name doesn't show up. Yeah, it's there. But possess no firearms, psych evaluation and conditions to be performed by Dr. Robert Gordon. Okay, they ordered him to take a psych evaluation. Okay? Right. Third-degree felony. Okay? So, and here's the, let's see here, true indictment. Hold on. All right. Oh, whoop, leave it right there. Okay, yeah. Whoop, a minute. Damn it. Gotta move that down. Hold on. There. Okay. Now, true indictment. Okay. Yeah. And then we have the charge, obstruction. Basically, what he did was, on information belief, he said he was going to unalive the child psychologist who was involved in his divorce. Yeah. So that's who Sarah is getting information from, okay? And they're all friends of Playboy. And Mark Anthony Jokers is the one who slide racked and said he would be over at Sarah's house. Sorry, slide racked and said he would be over at Tiffany's house in about 30 minutes. I also have him stating he could take the air out of, no, it was loosen lug nuts on somebody else's tires, wheels, okay? This is, excuse me, I'm being called psychotic by Sarah, and this guy's, your buddy's doing this. I will not allow you to flip the script, okay? And cussing is part of it, so that's why I'm going to quit it, all right? I can't give you that because you don't deserve it. The people you run with, Bayboy's site got taken down, at least that live got taken down. Jokers is a known repetitive DV violator. I have zero of this in my background, okay? So those are the facts, and that's it. I've got to go grocery store and do some stuff around the weekend stuff. But I wish you all have a great weekend, and let's try to get through these next 3 months with less profanity, and we may always disagree on some things, but let's just try to keep it so that things get less agitated, and I will take the lead in that. We'll go from there. Peace. And I mean it. Peace. Yeah. Let's close out with this, though. Where did I put it? Let's close out with this. Right there. Yeah. And I'm glad that she and Janina both agreed, Yeah. That's it, folks. Later.